They're waking
Eastern
up
America
and
here,
learning.
please subscribe, like, share, hit that notification bell. I just got back from church, and we're talking about Trump. And I'm a Democrat. I freely admit I was in the Philippines at the time. I did not vote for Biden, well, Kamala Harris, or Trump. I didn't have anything to do with this election. And I had heard stories about what he was going to do. Feel free to communicate. I'm with Eastern Mom, and we talking. And feel free to talk, because this is live. Well, live at the moment.
I voted for Trump.
Right. Well, I'm just going to say, I've been to Doha Hamad International Airport in Qatar. And I remember going to the bar, and, the Qataris wear these white robes. Everybody in Qatar is a sheikh. If you are a local national, you grew up there, blah, 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 you are a sheikh. Someone in the comment section tell me if I'm wrong. And I thought the bartender was Qatari, and he said he was from India. And he made it very clear that nobody works in Qatar. Nobody. No, all the labor are brought in as foreign laborers. Yeah. And in the airport, all the Afrikaners were security. All the Filipinas were in the service industry. And here he was, an Indian guy. He was working as bartender. They're all from foreign countries.
See?
Just amazing. So here we are. I took Economics 101 when I was in college, and I didn't do very well at the time. And they were doing the graphs, and I wasn't all good at those graphs and stuff. I barely passed the class. But I got to tell you, I did not know about these tariffs. You hear about tariffs. This is killing me. Every time we turn around, weather patterns, we learning about weather. Everyone is becoming a meteorologist without even going to school. Now we're getting lessons on economics. China, the economics right now.
We didn't know.
Yeah, it's April. Today is April 13th. It's supposed to be an unlucky day. I'm glad we're in the house. You never know. Even if it's Sunday.
Friday.
It's April 13th is a very unlucky number. Somewhere, someone's having a bad day. But moving right along, look at all this money. Now, I don't even have my facts and figures correct at this moment, but I've been following this business of, I thought the tariffs with China, and I'm really talking about China. China has these import taxes. Look at all the money they're bringing in for their military and everything else, whatever programs they have for their people. And then you got all these people working there, and they're making mostly textile, fabrics, that sort of thing, clothing. Maybe running shoes, maybe Asics, maybe Reebok, maybe Nike. I got my shoes in just in time. But the full video is going to be in the description, and you may be watching the full video as we speak. But anyway, just to know, look at the United States. We apparently were really disadvantaged across the board, and we literally had nothing to speak of on import tariffs for any country for a very long time, including Biden, and prior to that, Obama, and before that. I didn't know all this till recently. I mean, everyone's getting savvy on these economic things. I didn't know this president was going to do all this house cleaning. Everyone should clean their house once in a while, I think. Spring cleaning, whatever. And our government was big. And I'm sorry, a lot of federal employees have lost their jobs. But if there is a lot of, we call it pork in the U.S., fat. There's a lot of fat. I don't know about you, but in my life, I don't believe in spending excess. I don't like to be victimized. There is a difference between one person versus the next, or probably whatever. But like, if I were to buy, I can tell you, I've been through it. If I'm going to a place and I look at a menu and it's too expensive, I will get up and walk out. If I know where some price points ought to be. Right now, I pay 73 cents a can for my favorite beer, Miller Lite. And when I'm going places, and I went to a place the other day, $4.50. Now, $4.50. That's just 300 and something. Now I can look at the building and say, you know, they got to pay their overhead. There's insurance, maybe DWI insurance, however that works. But you know, I go to another place, they got happy hour for $2.50. You know, like this place in Charleston, Red's Ice House. You know, on the Shem Creek. That place is $2.50 from 4 to 7, I believe, and Miller Lite. And then a guy next to me drinking that Past Blue Ribbon PBR stuff from up there in, I think he said he was from up north. And they got it up there. I was surprised. Philly, yeah. Anyway, I'm just saying the import, now we got these import fees, and I know he wants to get it down to right, you know, get everybody come to the table 90 days. China's got like 120% tariff right now until they come to the table and get things like where they should be, you know, and then maintaining a 10%. I don't even know what we had on all these countries for import tariffs, but 10% sounds fair to me. But that money's coming into our federal government, and you know, all this money is starting to come in
that we
haven't been getting, and these are different revenue streams. You cleaning up all the fat, and you're saving a couple $1 trillion a year. We got like a $32 trillion deficit, I think, right now. I could be wrong. And so we only have a possibility of $4 trillion in 4 years based on their tracking, based on what they said. I don't think they can do any better than 4. So, you know, we borrow $1 trillion this year. It's only going to knock it down 3. But, you know, that's something. That's not even it's almost not even a tenth, but quite almost a tenth. We can knock it down and keep knocking it down if we continue doing what we're doing.
Right.
If we go back to the bad ways, where we're just borrowing money and think that's the answer to everything, I don't think it is. And
no.
I think it's worth the pain for us in our country to go through this till everything gets kind of right sized. That's all I'm saying, right sized, leveled out. You
sacrifice
know, sacrifice a little bit. I got all my stuff. Everybody's got all this stuff that I know of. We don't need any more material things. You know, just take care of what you got. You know, trade, you know, go look for used stuff, you know, until this clears up. I'm glad we canceled the Amazon. I canceled my Amazon membership 2 years ago. They keep telling me to subscribe. Please come back, blah, blah, blah. 1 free month of Amazon Prime. You got to be kidding me. And now they're going to be skyrocketing the prices. So who wants to be a part of that club? So I'm glad I got out when I got out, you know, and, the only thing I have is YouTube Premium. I pay for that. It's like $14. And I think I paid close to $19 for my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is also for PCs and the consoles. You can use them cross-platform, even on your phone, your Droid phone. You got to have a controller for your phone. But I'm going to try to add some gaming videos later. I'm going to get back into gaming. I've been out of it for a minute. But I'm just saying, look at how this money could be rerouted to the people of this country, America,
and
USA. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could actually give the money back to the people, like a dividend check. I could see where you could do away with taxes and all that. It's interesting. If we could follow a model like the Saudis and the Qataris and all these sheiks that have money funneled back to them, so they don't even have to work. They can focus on education. They can enjoy quality of life. I don't know. It's an idea. Imagine our USA bringing in nothing but foreign immigrants to do all labor. So every American would not have to do any labor. It's an idea. I'm just running it out there. And then everyone come in, just like they go to Qatar and Saudi Arabia. All their laborers are foreign. None of those people, all those sheiks, none of them have a job, unless they, you know, own a business and they have people work under them. But it's just a thought. So I think we all in the whole world need to stay cool, let the markets correct themselves and get back to better times. It could be that stocks end up, you know, and bonds start being a lot better in about a year. You know, we don't know. We just have to go to course. But I would tell anyone to hunker down right now. You know, there was a video the other day. There's this new company called Shein, similar to Temu. In the Philippines, they got Shopee. And these are risk companies, because when you order a product, there can be some deficiencies, something wrong with these products. It might not. You might have ordered a large and you end up with a small coffee maker. It could happen. And they were talking about clothing. It was something I watched the other day about clothing coming out of China, particularly with these low-end easy companies that are charging bottom rates at the time. And I noticed I got some holes in my pockets real quick. And that's why I use Ziploc bags for my keys in my pockets now to put less abuse. I put all my keys in a plastic bag and I have them on a lanyard looped around my belt buckle. I'll show you how I do this. I'll show you.
Yeah, it saves you.
So all my keys are in here. And you might want to try that sometime. And I run a lanyard so that the keys don't get lost. You know, keys can get lost. So I'm just saying, it can happen.
They hide on pockets.
Well, that's how they're making things now. The other day, I took some stuff. I took a pair of sweats. Now, I admit they were old. And had the lady stitch up the inside of the pockets because there was a big hole coming through there on my sweatpants that I like to wear. And she fixed them, but it cost me $15. But you know what? I order a brand new pair. It may not be as good, and the pockets would have another hole in it. So, you know, I'm just saying, there was a video I watched the other day that talked about 20 years ago how clothing was more quality, how it could last forever. And one woman went to a thrift store or something, and she explained that even the name brands now are falling apart. You know, I went to Men's Warehouse several years ago. I went to Men's Warehouse. To be fair, I had this job, and I went in there and bought a pinstripe shirt. And you know, the pinstripes, the blue, were a little raised, and the thread started coming out on the whole shirt. They offered me an exchange. I got a refund instead. It's a crazy shirt, one-time thing maybe, but you know, I just don't.
Quality.
Yeah, quality has gone away in our country. You know, if we do start manufacturing stuff, I would like to see made in America, made in USA. They used to have those. I remember when we were shopping when I was a little kid, I think made in USA was on everything. Blue Jeans had made in USA,
Yeah.
but then they started outsourcing to China.
Yeah.
And now most everything says made in China on a small label somewhere.
And that's when quality went down.
Yeah, like right now I'm wearing Levi's or something, and it's probably made in China. I don't know. But anyway, Eastern America here. Leave your comments in the comment section. This is going to go in my new economics playlist. So I'm going to get that in there. So we talk about economics more. And I don't hate anybody. Please don't hate me. We are just citizens. We're not driving the bus in the United States. We are passengers on the bus. We don't control the bus.